Hello everybody, welcome back to Justin Guides. Was about to head out to do a passive night shoot and had all my optics down. Wanted to do just a really quick tabletop comparison between three of my favorite night vision capable optics. In short, really, all three of them are absolutely excellent. The T2, Sig 4T Pro, and the EXPS3-0 from EOTech. They all give you a very clean sight picture. They're all very clear. They're night visions. They all have night vision capabilities in terms of their brightness. Really, you'll be happy with each and every one of them. Just wanted to go through them today, just to kind of give you some side-by-side comparisons of what they look like, some very basic specs of what it is, and hopefully this is something that helps you guys out. To start out, let's talk about probably one of the most popular night visions and red dot sights that you could possibly see on the market right now, and that is the Aimpoint Micro T2. It is a phenomenal optic. It's super clear. It has a lot of great things that go for it in terms of the weight of it, the speed that you're able to kind of find your target, and that's really what's made this a favorite amongst a lot of firearm enthusiasts out there. It's a super robust optic. It's got over 50,000 hours of operations on a single CR2032 battery. So that's about 5 years of constant use on setting 8, which is a game changer for shooters who want, reliability and they don't really like to change batteries on it. The mounting capabilities, right now I have it on a Unity mount just because I like the 1.93 height when using a night vision device. But it does come with mounts that are quick release as well, or without a mount. So it's very common mount out there. Super rugged optics. It has 12 brightness settings, including 4 night vision compatible settings and 4 daylight settings. And the T2 also adapts to really any lighting condition because of all those settings. With a quick turn of the knob, you're really able to turn the brightness up or turn the brightness down to whatever you're looking for. And when it comes to environmental resistance, like all the optics that we're going to be talking about today, the T2 is very resistant to moisture, to water. It's submersible up to 80 feet and can withstand temperatures ranging from, I believe, negative 49 degrees Fahrenheit to above 150 degrees Fahrenheit, making it really reliable in pretty much any choice of weather that you're trying to do. It's a fairly light optic, like I talked about earlier. It's about 3 ounces or about 84 grams, which makes it super lightweight and depends on what optic you're looking at. And it sets a really high standards for red dot sights. I feel that Holosun, Sig, everybody else is always trying to beat what Aimpoint has out right now, and it's just always been the gold star of recreational shooters, hobbyists. You see them so often. It's just because they're designed to perform, and they absolutely perform for what they do. Up next, I want to talk about the Romeo4T Pro. This is the version that I have here. They also have a 4XT Pro version, which is exactly the same, but instead of running off of a CR2032 battery, it does run off of a AAA battery. Many will consider this to be the Aimpoint T2 killer. The footprint is a little bit longer, but there is a bunch more features added into the 4T Pro and the 4XT Pro that I'm going to run through real quick. Similar to the Aimpoint T2, the 4T Pro has 50,000 hour battery life. It runs on the AAA or the CR2032 battery that I talked about earlier. It's got motion activations. It's got unlimited eye relief. It's also made of really strong aircraft grade 70-75 aluminum, waterproof just like the T2. The big difference that I see between the two is, as you can see on top here, the 4T Pro and the 4XT Pro has a night vision button. It doesn't save the settings. If you got your brightness up to, say, the 6th level, when you press that night vision button, it actually turns it into night vision and it keeps as a memory going back and forth. Whereas a T2, you're going to have to go in and actually dial it to the night vision settings. Not a big deal breaker. It's not also a big issue either. It really kind of depends where you want to do it. You got to be really careful when you're actually playing with the optic at night that you don't actually press the night vision button when you're trying to go brightness up or brightness down, because it will just start blowing out your night vision. It's okay temporarily, but it's just something to kind of keep in mind. With the reticles, like I said before, is probably the biggest thing that sets the Romeo 4T and the 4XT apart. There's 4 different integral reticles that you're able to do. You're able to use a dot, a circle, and a dot with holes, and this circle dot with holes. So there's 4 different reticle options. I'll put it on the screen just so everybody could see. They all have super, kind of different uses depending on what you like. Personally, I just run it with the dot, but it's something that, just like the EOTech, right? You're gonna get that option with the 32 MOA circle with the 2 MOA dot in the middle. Comes down to preference and what you're using it for, but I've always used it just with a dot. It's been great for me, and honestly speaking, if I had to choose between the two and I had to pick one, I would actually really have a hard time between the T2 and the Romeo 4T Pro. They're both really good at what they do. They're both super clear when you're playing around and running around with them. It just comes down to, honestly, for me, is what optic mounts do you have, right? If you got a Unity one already, or if you have a GBRS one like I have here, go with the mount that you have. You won't be disappointed with either. The weights are really similar, but they both also provide some really good optical quality when it comes down to it. So side by side, you could kind of see, they're really similar when looking through the back. It just comes down to, really big, just personal preference of what you're looking for. Last but not least, want to talk about the EOTech EXPS3-0 is what I have here. They come in many different models, but this one specifically is a 3-0 model. Before the Sig came out, the 2 reticles of choice for night vision was the Aimpoint T2, or I guess the M5 series and the EOTech series. EOTech, I feel, has the clearer glass between the 2 options, which is super useful when you're looking at, longer distance issues. It sits on 1/3 co-witness height, backs, and then 1/3 co-witness height. Backup iron sight can be seen, inside the windows when you look through it if you really needed to, because of the 1/3 height. There's buttons on the left side here that lets you toggle through the 20 daylight brightness settings, and the night vision button on the very top lets you switch from the daylight settings to the night vision mode. Similar to what we saw earlier here on the Sig 4T Pro. Other things to note about the optic is that it is water resistant, not as much so, and I wouldn't say it's as durable as the T2 or the 4T Pro. It is water resistance up to 33 feet. It's got a 1-inch mount that mounts onto Picatinny. I mount it personally on a Unity riser as well, just to get it high enough, similar to how these other 2 mounts are, just to kind of raise it up, just so I could get my night vision goggles, to get a proper cheek welds. The elevation gains on it are on the opposite side. They go up in 0.5 MOIs per click. It runs on a CR123 battery. And with the battery, that's probably the biggest gripe that people have with EOTech. Outside of the durability of it. It's got the shield, but there are some durability issues. Is the battery is only rated for 1,000 continuous hours at setting 12 of 20. That doesn't give you a lot of hours compared to a 50,000 EOTech, 50,000 T2 or a 50,000 Sig 4T Pro. So you just got to be more aware that with the EOTech, you may need to be changing the optics batteries a little bit more often, just to make sure whenever you grab it, you have something that actually turns on for you. It's nice, in terms of the window being a lot larger. As you could see right now, the window compared to the T2 is you're just able to see a lot more information. And that's probably the biggest thing about the holographic sights, outside of, people with astigmatism. It kind of helps them be able to see the reticle a little bit more, is you just get that large clear box to kind of see the targets that you're looking at. But like I said in the start of the video, it really comes down to what you guys are looking for. This is a little bit heavier, and it's why I've kind of leaned towards the T2 and the 4T Pro a little bit more. But the night vision setting is the reason I eventually got the EOTech. Just being able to click a button and run into night vision and not have to worry about it has been something that I've enjoyed a lot. As a final outro, I just wanted to kind of give the top, left, right views of kind of the optics just to kind of see. EOTech on the very left, T2 in the middle, and the Sig Romeo4T Pro here on the very right hand side. Footprint wise, you can see from the top that T2 is the smallest one of the group, where the Romeo and the EOTech probably holds around the same footprint. Where you're really going to see the difference is pretty much the height. You know, just given the way that the optics are, of course, the red dot sights are going to be a little bit smaller in height compared to the EOTech. But that's just how the optics work. And in terms of the optics looking through the back, you know, we covered this a little bit earlier. The T2 and the 4T Pro are very, very similar and really close. And the EOTech does have that fairly large window where you're able to see your targets a lot better. Granted, the weight and everything that you kind of get from it. So they're all great optics. Comes down to what you like, what you want, what your budget is. The Aimpoint is around an $800 optic. The EXPS3 is around $500, and the Sig Romeo4T Pro is around $500 as well. You're able to find them a little bit cheaper on the used market, depending on what you're looking for. But the aftermarket support and the community behind all three of them, they're there, and they're really proven optics that everybody would definitely enjoy. So thanks again. Like I said, I was just about to head out to go do a nighttime shoot through the PVS-14 and a GoPro just to show what it looks like looking through these optics. Wanted to throw it on the table just to kind of, you know, do a really quick rundown of the three, put them out, kind of compare them a little to really quick rundown of the specs. So if you found this helpful, go ahead and like, subscribe. I'm going to be throwing some shorts and more videos just showing these, you know, running around, looking at targets at different yardages. Your support helps a lot. Let me know if you have any questions. Stay tuned for more. I appreciate you guys doing here, and we'll see you next time.